After a long 3-year hiatus, the unkillable is back. Meet the all-new 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser in all its boxy and retro glory. Are you stoked it's back? Because I'm stoked it's back. But first, a little story time. A long time ago, the first Land Cruiser touched down in the US market in 1958. The subsequent generation, the 40 Series, was an instant hit and became the best-selling Toyota in the US between 1961 and 1965. You'll instantly recognize it for its boxy design and round headlights. Fast forward all the way to 2008, where the Toyota Land Cruiser 200 Series debuted as the last generation to be sold here in the US. Until now, obviously. This one was a pretty big departure from the original Land Cruiser idea. It was upscale, luxurious, decidedly unboxy. It was posh. It was posh. And it was posh enough to start competing with Lexus, which is a big corporate no-no. It was a good truck, but was it a real Land Cruiser? But now there's reason to celebrate because the new Land Cruiser seems to go right back to those old 40 Series roots. Actually, it looks like how the 40 Series would today if it were still alive. This body-on-frame truck has a ton of right angles, a high vantage point, and is actually slightly smaller and narrower than the 200 Series. When was the last time the new version of a car got smaller than the one it replaces? All versions of the new Land Cruiser will be powered by Toyota's 2.4-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid iForce Max engine. Oh, it's a mouthful. They'll make a respectable 326 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. The trucks will use an 8-speed automatic and have full-time 4-wheel drive, at least 8.7 inches of ground clearance, and up to 6,000 pounds of towing capacity. At launch, there will be 3 trims. The first is the Land Cruiser 1958, which is your base trim. It'll have the smaller 8-inch infotainment screen, fabric-trimmed and manually adjusted seats, and round headlights. This is the good one. The honest one. This is the way a Land Cruiser should be, you know? Humble and simple, but certainly not any less premium. Then there's the Land Cruiser trim, which gets the bigger 12.3-inch infotainment screen and multi-terrain select adjustable off-road drive settings. You'll be able to tell it's the Land Cruiser trim from the outside because of the horizontal headlights instead of the rounded ones. Finally, the Land Cruiser First Edition is limited to 5,000 examples for North America. On it, you get a roof rack, rock rails, a front skid plate, mud flaps, and exclusive interior touches. The First Edition also gets rounded headlights. So that retro trend seems like it's already in high gear these days, especially with the off-road SUVs like the Land Rover Defender and Ford Bronco. You may now add the Toyota Land Cruiser to that list. However, it is not a replacement for the 4Runner, in case you were nervous. Toyota says the Land Cruiser is for a more mature buyer, while the 4Runner is meant for a younger buyer. Regardless of how it's positioned though, it's pretty incredible Toyota is bringing this thing back. It's also like way cooler than the J300 series they get in other parts of the world, so suck it. As for the biggest question of all, the price. Toyota didn't get specific, but did say the new Land Cruiser will start in the mid $50,000 range. So you can use your imagination from now until it gets closer to being on sale. Being the rebirth of an icon and all that, the new Land Cruiser's got big shoes to fill. So we'll see how all that shakes out.